we should be on Facebook. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, well, what's up, Warrior? Welcome to Warrior Wisdom. And today it's July 3rd out here in the United States. So this is like smack dab in the middle of our summertime. This is smack dab right before Independence Day, July 4th. So if you're in the United States, happy July 4th. But this is one of those interesting seasons that successful people, if you know what to do, can really separate yourself from the pack from others. Who here has goals that you would rather get to achieving sooner rather than later? Give me a wave or put a me in the comments, right? So if you know what to do during these separation seasons, then you're going to be able to speed ahead of the pack. If you don't, then you're going to be like, man, what happened right there? And the team right now, I'm telling you, summer as a whole typically is a time in our business that slows down. This team is not slowing down. There is no, so every week there's more promotions. Every week there's more growth. Every week there's more success because that's of each and every single one of you. But we can dig in even further as well too, but separation season. So I remember when I first got introduced to network marketing, one of my mentors was Jim Rohn. Right? Who here's ever listened to Jim Rohn? He is the greatest of all time, the GOAT when it comes to personal development. He's the guru and the mentor to, if you know, Tony Robbins. He's been passed away for, gosh, 20 years or something almost, but he's still very relevant to this day. And he had some really cool Jim Rohn one-liners. He had this Idaho accent, and it was just something unique. If you ever want to binge on someone, take a look at his YouTubes and everything. But one thing he said that I took to heart was this. He said that if you want to hack to success, look at what the average people are doing. Look at what everyone else is doing and don't be like them. Right? If you want to be extraordinary, just look at what the ordinary do and don't do that. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of common sense. That just makes sense right there, right? So I want to submit some things on how to make sure that you can be extraordinary in your business. And when this clicked for me, everything changed in my business. I was able to enroll people, no problem. I was able to expand and duplicate, no problem. And you will as well too. If you're ready to dig in, give me a wave or put a yes in the comments below. All right. I learned this acronym, and I want us to do a little self-reflection of ourselves today with this acronym. And if you want better results in your business, you want better results in your life, here's the acronym. It's a word: BEAR. B-E-A-R. Okay, B-E-A-R. So this acronym, I want to go through each one of them, and I want to talk to you about how to have a separation season, how to be different in each of these categories, because we want the end result. You want more promotions. You want to, if you're running for the Star Gala at PXP, you want to hit that. If you want to get manager and vice president, officer, senior officer, all these things, you want to retire. You want to retire your family. You want to travel. You want all these different things. If you want the outcome, we have to change the inputs to this. So number one is this: belief. B is for belief. Belief. If you want to separate yourself from the pack and you want to be someone that people follow, then you need to be the person that has the biggest belief out of anyone else. Leaders follow people that have greater vision than them. So think to yourself, what goals do you have? What goals do you have? All right, let's just use an income goal. On a monthly basis, like a real goal. Like I'm going to ask you a real goal, not like oh, it must be nice goal, but something you seriously want. And there's no comparison. It's to each their own, right? How much money a month would you need to earn for that to be life-changing for you? I dropped it in the chat. Now, what is that for you? When I was brand new, I mean, gosh, an extra 1,000 a month was amazing for me. And then 1,000 a week was an amazing one, right? Like there's something about 1,000 a week. That's like full-time income status, right? And then there's 10,000, like 6 figures. That sounds really good. And then I'm like, man, 100K, like that sounds really good, right? Well, our goal is to continue to grow in that. So whatever that amount is, here's a question that I was thinking to myself and submit to you. If I set that goal, would people believe that I would do it? Like, who here's ever heard someone share a goal? And to be honest, and I try not to judge, but we're all human beings, right? And you never know. But I've heard goals before and I've said goals before that, to be honest, I did not believe. Like, it sounded like pie in the sky. It sounded like, it's like when you see a kid and they're cute, they're like, I want to be an astronaut. You're like, oh, good for you. But you're like, I don't know. They don't exactly know. They're kind of just saying things, right? There's a difference of saying you want something and being committed to something. So with your goal, I want to challenge you today. How do you be in separation season with that? If you have a goal, how much do you believe in that? I'll share with you a story. This changed my life when it came to recruiting. I used to say I was a bad recruiter. I saw other people recruiting people. I'm like, I can't recruit anyone. Does anyone else ever feel like that? It's like, man, how do they get people started all the time? And here I am trying to convince my friends to join me, and they don't at the end. I'm like, God, what am I doing? So I remember I brought down one of my best friends to see a presentation. And this is back in an in-person meeting. And it was super awkward because, he saw everything. He seemed positive. And I'm like, we grabbed some lunch afterwards. And I didn't know how to ask the closing question. Does anyone else struggle with that? Just ask the question. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I felt awkward. I don't want to force him. I don't want to feel spammy, right? So we're just talking and I'm kind of going around the point, and we eat our lunch. And at the end, he asked me an interesting question. He said, James, where do you see yourself 5 years from now with this? I'm like, well, okay. And I shared with him my vision. I shared with him how we're going to be the top team in the world. I shared with them how we're going to do things in a different way. I shared with them where we saw ourselves going with the business. And what was so profound, I didn't say anything about the business. I didn't say anything about the product. At the end, you know what he did? He said, all right, sign me up. And I think he dropped $1,000 just right there. Sign me up. I'm like, what? Why? Because people buy people. People buy you. People buy your belief before they buy your product. People buy you before they buy the business. So if you've been struggling with recruiting or enrolling, or if you're like, man, how do I separate myself? What is your conviction with your vision? Yes, the company vision is important. It's great. We already know we're going to be #1 in the world, right? Like, it's great that the organization vision is great. Like, that's amazing. It's great you have conviction on the product. But if you want to build a dream team, what is your conviction on your vision, on where you're going? Do people believe that you're going to get there? My mentor said this quote: people want to get started with people that look like they're serious and they're going somewhere. Do you look like you're serious and going somewhere? Does it reflect in your belief level? So here's some homework today. Say your goal to yourself. Like, even record yourself saying your goal to yourself, your vision to yourself. And ask yourself, if you heard that and you were a prospect, if you heard that and you were a teammate, would you believe you? Right? Like, in some of us, we're like, yeah, for sure. And some of us, we're going to have to work on that. And it's okay. Just act as if you're already there. So your belief is a very big thing. If you're still with me, put a 1 in the comments below. What is your belief on where you're going? Where are you going? Not where's your teammate going? Where's your upline going? Where are you going? That's what you have to sell yourself. That's the most important person to sell. Number 2, separation season. How do you separate yourself? In bear, we have belief. Number 2, excitement or energy. Excitement or energy. What's your attitude like? What's your attitude like? If you believe that you're going in big places, let's go through a list here. Are you somebody that is positive? Or are you negative typically? Right? Are you the dummy downer? Or are you the one that sees things with glass half full? If you have a prospect that doesn't get back to you, do you complain and gripe and say, oh my gosh, no one's talking to me. Oh my gosh, I suck so much. Or are you the one like, I'm moving on next? right? How do you solve the problem? What's your excitement? People that are serious and they're going somewhere, when they see an obstacle, they just bulldoze through the obstacle, don't they? They don't sit there by, oh man, that sucks. Leaders lead. You got to overcome. You got to solve the problem, right? I love so many of our teammates are crushing it. I see Adela on the line right now. Adela is 77 years young. Yeah, grew up on a typewriter with the clickety clack. She wanted to put on a Zoom. Never did it before. Scary, right? A lot, even people my age don't know how to put on a Zoom, right? And she's like, how do I do it? Let's go figure this out. She was scared. She leaned in. She put it together. She even put a flyer. She used Canva. She made a flyer. I'm like, what? How do you make your own flyer? Because she said, I know where I'm going. I'm excited for it. Here's an obstacle. Let's go solve the problem. Leaders solve problems. How fast do you solve the problem? What problem do you have right now in your business? Think about that. Is it people aren't getting back to you? How do we solve it? Is it you people that say they're going to sign up and join and they haven't? How are we going to solve that? Is it that you don't have enough leads? How do you solve that? It's not going to solve by itself. Who's going to step up? Are you going to be the one? Hey, if you're serious and you're going to that goal, if you're convicted, if you're separating yourself, people want to get around people that have that attitude of, let's go solve this. Let's go do it. Let's go figure it out. You can take ownership of that, can't you? You can take accountability of that, can't you? All right. Put a 2 in the comments if you're still with me. Solve the problem. Be excited about it. Be expectant. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'll say this quote. I just love it because, like, if you're ever anxious about something, one thing I've realized, anxiety is disguised excitement. Anxiety is disguised excitement. So think to yourself, what are you anxious about today? What's scaring you today? Instead of running away, lean in. That's how you can separate yourself. People want to be around those crazy people, don't they? People are inspired by people that face the fear and do it anyway. So if you want to separate yourself, have a different type of energy, have a different type of excitement, lean into that and just keep on going through that. Oh man, I'm getting excited as I'm imagining your excitement rising. I can already tell things are clicking, okay? So you have belief, you have excitement or energy. Energy is caught, not taught, right? Be an energy giver, not a taker. And number 3, then action. Action. God can't steer a parked car. So we do need to be mindful. Another issue I see, people are, oh, my business is not growing. Oh my gosh, no one's getting back to me. Oh my gosh, no one's signing up. How many people did you actually talk to in your business? Oh, I talked to 2 people and they're not getting back to me. Don't talk to 2, talk to 20. Your problem is not 2 customers. Your problem is 100 customers. Elevate the problem, solve the bigger problem. We're giving ourselves a way out. It's okay, I'm a little real with us today because I love you. Stop thinking so small about 1 customer. Think about 10, right? Like, how do I do this? And it doesn't have to be harder. Hey, case in point, are there people in our business right now getting 10 customers easily, 100 customers easily? Then it's not that the business doesn't work. It's that we have not figured it out yet. If they're a human being, you're a human being, we got the same product, same business, same everything. Let's just figure out what they do. 1 idea is all you need. We're talking about Dr. Pia. We're following a Reels training that Cindy and Lindsay put together. She's never done Instagram. She's a yaya. She's a grandma. She decided to lean in. And she says, you know what? I got big goals. Let's go figure this out. She started posting a reel a day, following to a T what they were teaching. In a couple of weeks, she went from 1,000 followers to 10,000 followers. She had to figure out how to do automations now. It's a good problem to have. And literally, she's like living life, traveling. She's getting over 10 customers a week right now that she does not know that are coming in, and she's enrolling people as well too as partners. I'm like, dang, that's action. She's instant action. She's like, let's go be obedient, right? And it's okay. She's disconnected from the outcome. You're like, well, James, where's my results? It's okay. Keep on going. Keep on going. You keep on acting until. You keep on doing until. And you get better as you get into the action. So question is, how are you separating yourself today with your action? Are you trying something a little bit different or better? Are you doing your engagement sandwich? Are you doing the basics, right? Are you doing the engagement sandwich? Are you doing your post? Are you doing little things? One idea every day. Just do something a little bit better. Do something a little bit different. The goal is to get better. The goal is to have mastery. The goal is to do it so much that you can't get it wrong. Who here wants to be that good, right? I remember my mentor would say this during a time when it was really hard for me to make any money in my business. And he said this, and it so haunted me. He said, James, you know, wealthy people, successful people, they build their businesses so well to the point that it's harder for them to not make money than it is for them to make money. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, really? It's harder for them to not make money than it is for them to make money? Man, I want to be that good. Can you imagine you get so good that you just show up and money gets generated? You show up, people just join. You show up, we can all get that good. So if you're not having that yet, which I definitely didn't, then I made that a goal. I said, I'm going to get so good. I'm going to refine this. I'm going to master this until I can get it done. So with me, put a 3 in the comments below. How do you separate yourself? How do you separate yourself? Have the highest conviction with where you're going possible. Take it to another level. Convince yourself again. Number 2, excitement, your energy. What kind of energy are you putting out there, right? What's your social media posts like? Are you like, man, someone's going to read this and it's going to change their life? What's your intention behind things? When you're around people at the grocery store, are you intentionally aiming to add value to other people? You never know what's going to happen. Number 3, action. What's that extra little action? I love Pam Middleton. She has her pin on her all the time, and she's just walking around. She's like, hey, I got no shame. We got something good. I'm just going to go talk to people. Like, whatever. You never know where your next top money earner, your next amazing customer is going to come from. So go take that action. And then finally, the results come, right? Bear belief, excitement or energy, action, results. We do need to monitor the results. We need to make sure that as the leader, they're getting better. Okay. How do you separate yourself? Start looking at the results. I know it's like looking at the scale. We don't want to look at the scale many times. Like, oh, you've been on vacation before. You're like, oh. Thank God for the drops, right? Really helpful. But your results as the leader, to separate yourself, people want to be around people that care about results. It's not okay to just keep on doing things and results don't change. It's not okay to continuously, if you go to the gym for a week and you're not losing a pound, for example, that's your goal, that's okay. Like, it's a process. If you're going to the gym for a year and you haven't changed, sister, brother, there's something that's, man, we got to change something, right? Results do tell the name. They're the name of the game. Albert Einstein said, if you keep on doing the same thing and you're expecting change, that's called insanity. I think one of the worst places that the enemy takes us out is he gets us busy and distracted, but it's not productive. I struggle with this a lot because I'm honest. I like doing things. I like feeling productive. I like responding. I like posting and replying, and I like doing stuff. Right? I don't like sitting there. Does anyone get anxious sometimes? You just sit there and totally. I don't like I got to do something. But you have to be very mindful and intentional as a leader that you're not just caught up in the do, but you're doing it intentionally to get the result. Warriors win. Leaders win. If you want to separate yourself, people are looking for winners. They're not just looking for doing people. They're looking for people that are winning. So we have to each confront a result and be very like, is this okay? Am I on track or off track? Don't wait for someone else to tell you about it. Be the one accountable to you. So when you look at that, you think, how do I make this better? You take a look at your check. How do I make this more? You take a look at your team's results. How do I get this better? Am I on track and am I off track? This week, you have a goal for the Star Gala. Have you gotten a customer? Have you gotten an enrollment? If not, what's up with that? We got a couple days on the clock. Let's not end this week the same that we started. You guys okay with this? I'm talking to myself, right? Because I'm not there yet, right? So I'm like, let's figure this out. But this is how you separate yourself. Understand that direction can change overnight. Destination doesn't. But when I started to understand that belief and energy and attitude, action and results, and I got really intentional about this, and I said, I'm changing this today. I'm separating myself from the pack. I'm becoming someone deeply intentional. I showed up differently. I thought different. I acted different. I spoke different. And here's the cool thing. You don't have to wait until you get the result in order to start changing the results. The moment you start making decisions, the moment you start elevating your standard, people notice. And I end with this story. I've had the fortune in this business. We've enrolled hundreds of partners, hundreds of customers. So fun. I love the art of bringing a new life in. It's the greatest joy. And there's been many cool success stories. Many haven't done anything, but there's some that have. And I believe the greatest success, and we have a lot of amazing success stories, but one of the greatest success stories happened, which was one of my first recruits when I finally figured this out. I remember I was getting started in my business and, I got the scripts down. I was doing that and I was not good. I would go to the trainings and I'd always keep on doing things wrong. I was trying to be confident, but I'd always go back and forth. But I'm like, man, I'm going to figure this out. And I heard talks like what you're hearing today. I said, I'm doing this different. I'm showing up different. I rose my belief. I said, I'm making this happen. I rose my excitement. I'm like, I'm going to show up different. I'm going to talk different to people. I'm going to start acting. My hot market all said absolutely no. My parents were super negative, so telling me I was in a cult and a scam. Anyone here have those types of people? My good friends were like, get out of there. I got to go make some new friends. So I worked up the courage and then ended up prospecting someone that was a classmate. And this classmate went to the presentation. This prospect said yes right away, dropped the $800 at a 20-year-old broke college student. She was so excited. She took her mom's credit card and just like, let's go. Let's figure this out. People aren't broke, by the way. They just don't see the value. People find money to pay for the things they value. Okay. So, and then she got trained and then she hit the core rank and then she hit senior officer and then I married her. Becky Ma, who is now in Becky Zhang. And I asked her later, I'm like, why'd you get started? And what she said was not, oh, you're a good looking dude, which I don't know, maybe that was part of it. No, what she said was this. She said, James, I noticed how you were walking around. We were in the same class together. I showed up a little bit different. I did my hair. I actually dressed up a little bit nicer. All right. Even though I'm at home, I could be in anything. I want to show up like a top money earner would show up, right? What does that look like in your scope? What does that look like and feel like in your place? I showed up different. I was early. I was attentive. I was diligent. She was watching. People are watching you more than you know. They're watching how you are when you don't know that they're watching. They want to join good people. So when I finally prospected her and I did the invite the way that I was taught to, she said yes, because she bought into where I was going. She didn't know what I was doing. She's just like, this guy's going somewhere. Saw the presentation, saw how it was, and she's like, I'm on board. She bought into the belief. And that day changed my life because I realized you're the X factor. I realized you can always change. I realized you can always get more belief. You can always get more energy. You can always take more action and your results can always change. Sell yourself more today. In this July 4th week, can you separate yourself? Your first half of the year could have been completely a train wreck. You can change today and make sure the second half is so much better that the first half is gone. Who here wants your second half to not just be better, but how about 10x better than your first half? You can do that, can't you? Right now, but it's up to you to make the decision. It's up to you to change the standard. It's up to you to make that change. My challenge to you is this. Use this Star Gala challenge that we have right now and do it different. Get your 2 enrollments, get your 1,500 points, do it different. Be the first to do it. Show up different. Have a different enthusiasm. Do something bold. Do something you're scared about. And let that be a mark of this next chapter of being someone completely different, and watch how the rest of your year is going to change. If you're committed to this, put a 100 in the comments below. Super proud of you. Let's have a separation season. This team's crushing it, but there's so much more that's in the tank as well too, isn't there? All right. Enjoy your July 4th. Have fun. God bless.